Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Attorney Charles Zavala from Zavala Texas Law here in beautiful Houston, Texas. We handle immigration, criminal cases, as well as business claims. Today I have a video about immigration. If you guys happen to like our videos, feel free to like, subscribe, speak in the comments, because I read them. Believe it or not, I do read them, and that's usually how I'll base my videos off of the questions people are asking, stuff like that, or anything I think that is a relevant news to my subscribers, right? So here I got an interesting one. It's relating to immigration. So ICE. I don't know if you ever heard the term ICE. ICE is like the police branch of immigration. It stands for Immigration Customs Enforcement, right? So these are the people who are actually on the ground level. So they're the ones who detain people. If they go to someone's house to try to remove them or deport them, usually ICE agents. So under the new Biden administration, and this is an article from middle of August, they came out with this new kind of policy guidance. And what the Biden administration said is this: look, let's pretend, there you go, I always use him as an example, little Magnus, right? Let's pretend he's an immigrant from another country. If he's here in the USA, either illegally or entered legally and is now out of status, right? So he's in a position where he's vulnerable, that they could deport him. Let's pretend that he was a victim of a crime, let's say I beat him up, let's say I robbed him, let's say something, right? He's in a position where he's afraid to call the police, right? Because he doesn't want the police to know that he's here illegally. So because of that, there's a lot of crimes that don't go reported in the immigrant community. So that's what the Biden administration came out, and they're giving their new guidance, and they're saying, look, if you are a victim of a crime, if you're a victim of domestic violence, if you've been assaulted, if something's happened to you, give the police a call. We're not going to come get you, right? And so that's big. That's really big for the immigrant, because it adds this kind of sense of security and a little bit more humanizing in the way that if something happens, you can rely on the police and not call the police to protect you, and then you end up being deported, right? So I think that's really big news. I think that's great. There are some exceptional circumstances, though, right? So if you already have a really bad record, or really bad record, it's all exceptional circumstances. But I would think 95% of the people can fly under this radar of not being in trouble, right? So I think that's big news. Another reason why this is big news is immigration does offer some benefits for people who are victims of crimes, right? So there is something called VAWA, stands for Violence Against Women's Act, but it's not only women, it can be against men. So if you are a victim of violence from a green card holder or a citizen, and you can prove all this stuff, you can apply for VAWA. And VAWA usually tends to be whenever there's a relationship, something like that, where one person is kind of using leverage on the other person, right? That's one example, but it doesn't have to be. It can be your child. If your child's a U.S. citizen and they're beating you up and stuff like that, VAWA could be for you. Another thing, there's something called a U visa. A U visa is if you were a victim of a crime, there's a list of the crimes. It's not just any crime. You can't just say, oh, that guy spit on me. No, it's a list. But if you have serious crimes, like assault, weapons, robbery, things that kind of happen in cities, you could be eligible for what's called a U visa. And that's great, because a U visa is a way where you can get your work permit, you can stay here in the country, all that good stuff. But ultimately, the reason why we did this video, I wanted to do, is because I think this is important. We handle a lot of criminal cases as well, so I see both sides of it. But there is definitely a fear in the immigrant community. They say, look, if something happens to me, I'm afraid to call anyone, because I don't know if I'm essentially just calling my own death sentence, right, or my deportation sentence. So I think this is great. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. You can schedule down in the description box. You can do whatever you want. We'll be here, okay? So I hope you have a beautiful rest of your summer. Bye-bye.